Hi, and welcome to Cybertalks. My name is Naveen Vasudeva. I'm here with Stu Hirst, an award-winning cybersecurity professional who currently works for Photobox as the head of security engineering and cloud security. Welcome, Stu.
Thank you.
Very nice to meet you.
And you?
Before we get into some of the discussion about which awards you've won, could you tell me what exactly do you do here at Photobox?
Yeah, so I joined in May of this year as head of security engineering as part of the leadership team here. So we cover 5 brands, Photobox, Moonpig, Poster, Hofmann and now Greets in Holland. So my role's actually moved and shifted a little bit, even in the short time I've been here, to look after AWS and the security of our cloud environments. So that's kind of what I'm responsible for just now. Great.
So, it's a really exciting sort of profession to be in, cyber and cloud and technology and the way it moves. It's very fast paced. So what are the sort of key things that you're seeing in terms of challenges that you're facing around cybersecurity and sort of public and private cloud type environments?
Yeah, sure. Obviously, businesses, there is a big shift to the cloud over the last few years, and these are new technologies for a lot of companies. And it's finding our way through those challenges as we move applications and data into cloud environments. I find AWS as a product to be really interesting, and the technology and the ability to automate things within AWS, I find that to be really, really interesting. I think it's one of the challenges is trying to build things securely in those kind of environments. Internet businesses are very agile, very fast moving, and trying to keep on top of things is a challenge.
That's great. So taking a step back a little bit, tell me a little bit about your path and career into cybersecurity.
Sure. So this is my 20th year in IT. I spent 12 years at RBS as a mainframe programmer for my sins. And then I took a year out. I moved to the train line, so a bit of a shift of industry and culture. And I was asked to pick up PCI compliance at the train line, so I wasn't a security person at that point. Upskilled on security and tried to get my head around a lot of the principles of InfoSec and compliance. Spent 3 years there. And then I moved to Skyscanner, where I built Skyscanner's security team for nearly 3 years there. Awesome organisation, very fast-paced, tech-based organisation back in Edinburgh. And I really cut my teeth in security there. Learned a hell of a lot in that time. Huge amount of failure, I guess, as part of that role, and failing fast and moving forward and learning new techniques. And I'm still upskilling in a lot of these areas. And I'm now, I was spent 10 months at Capital One as well recently, and then was poached to come to Photobox by our CISO.
Excellent. So what advice would you give to some of our younger cybersecurity professionals, in terms of sort of breaking into this industry or getting their first opportunity in it, because it is quite challenging for a lot of people, to sort of find that path, and you didn't have a sort of traditional path into it. So if you had sort of that non-traditional individual that had this interest, how would you go about sort of advising them to sort of, take, what steps would they take?
Sure. One of the things that I'm seeing repeated across the industry at the moment is how important the community is and the community aspect of cybersecurity. So I run a meetup in Scotland, and there's a meetup here tonight. That coming to those things and engaging with people and opening conversation, networking. I've heard lots of good success stories of people going to events and finding people or hooking up with businesses that they might not have done otherwise, and then having opportunities from that. So I think if I was to offer any advice for anybody looking to get into cyber, it would be to engage with local events, conferences, Twitter, LinkedIn, those kind of social media platforms where you can upskill, network with people and learn from people already in the industry.
Great stuff. And does Photobox do any sort of outreach programs for young graduates or people sort of starting in the industry? Is there anything that you guys do specifically around cybersecurity?
That's something we're certainly looking to embed. We have graduate schemes and intern schemes as a business, but we're very much looking to make that step in cyber and offer opportunities. We have a role at the moment for a cyber intern, so we're very keen to kind of engage with people at that level, new to the industry, or coming out of universities looking to start their cyber careers.
Perfect. So on the internship, who can they reach out to?
Yeah, either myself or Dennis Cruz, the CISO, are ideal people to come and speak to.
Wonderful. So sort of jumping back to some of the challenges within cyber that you're seeing right now, you know, what would you say are the key things that are challenging yourself and, you know, challenging your CISO, but, you know, more importantly, challenging your organization in its understanding of some of that threat that's out there, you know?
I think there are still some things that we need to get right in businesses. We talk about doing the basics a lot, and I think that's still prevalent in security in a lot of businesses. I think the thing that continues to interest me is just how the landscape changes quickly. The hacks that we're seeing now across major organizations are different to the ones we saw a year ago or 2 years ago. They're using different mechanisms. Third-party supply chain seems to be a fairly important area just now. So I think it's that changing landscape which I find really interesting. It's a challenge, but it's why we're emotionally invested in the careers that we do.
And in terms of your organisation, how do you find sort of translating some of that, what could be, you know, deemed as a very technical field into very simple, plain business risk? You know, for us, this is something we do on a daily basis. But how does that sort of translate with your business? Do they understand, you know, in terms of the risk that you're presenting to them, and you know, what the impact of that risk potentially is?
Yeah, we use various methods to do that. We have a security champions scheme, which is not new for a lot of organisations, but that's our way of engaging with different areas of the business, either technical or non-technical. You know, a lot of our tooling that we use is to help you know, create communication, and we have all hands sessions where we can go and present some of our ideas and our thoughts and things that we're seeing. That is a challenge in businesses, to be able to articulate sometimes very technical concerns or risks to non-technical people, and I think that is something that cyber teams have to work very hard to do. So it's just finding your way to speak to different areas of the business and let them understand what your world looks like, and it's really how you can assist them.
So really my last question then, Stu, is, you know, what do you see in terms of where our industry is going in terms of, you know, the threat vectors and the issues that we have to deal with, especially from your point of view at an engineering standpoint? Maybe you can share with your audience some of that, you know, thought process of what you're looking at in terms of protecting Photobox.
Yeah, I mean, the threat landscape is expanding, and I think as the internet is being used more around the world, and as our companies grow and develop and take on new technologies, it comes with risk and with challenges about how we go about protecting that. We look after a large amount of personal data here, and that's growing. So we have an obligation to protect that as best we can. So I just think that whole threat landscape piece is very interesting. It's changing, as I mentioned before, almost weekly. No companies are immune from things happening, either internally or otherwise, and that's why we need to continue to grow our teams, invest in our tech and people.
Great. Well, listen, thank you very much, and good luck with everything.
No worries, thank you.
Thank you.